You are only ever allowed to touch, harm, hurt, and very, very possibly eat bad people, but never, ever harmless phosphorescence. Hello, everyone. This is Thoreau Smiley, and I'm quite a catch. Who's joining me this week?
I'm Josh Cece, and you could always shed my carcass and throw it away for a new one.
I'm Brian Lesh, and I'll be eating chocolate, tater tots, and a human head for this show.
I fed the cat, but it's probably still going to bug me. I'm Alaric Weber.
And this is Harmless Phosphorescence. It's your superhero podcast, where we watch every theatrically released full-length live-action superhero movie ever made. We gather some research into the production and the source material, then we tell you all about it. This show is brought to you by patrons. We've got many different patron levels. You can be an executive producer like Michael Beckwith or Atticus Burkett. It's easy. Just go to patreon.com/harmlessentertainment. It starts at $1 a month. We've got our monthly movies up there. We've got Star Wars shows. We've got some holiday movie episodes. We've got a lot of music ones that we put out. This month, we're going to be putting up our Beastmaster episode. That's our monthly movie. So, head over, check it out. Patreon.com/harmlessentertainment. This week, though, on Harmless Phosphorescence, we are going to be watching Venom.
You should be extremely afraid. Thank you for bringing us collectively to this moment. It is a moment that so many have dreamed of claiming. History starts today.
The guy you work for is an evil person.
I don't work for him. My firm works for him. Are you gonna behave yourself tomorrow?
I told you I'm gonna do my job. I'm a reporter. I follow people that do not want to be followed. What about the allegations that you recruit the most vulnerable for tests that end up killing people?
Your time to go.
You finished, Mr. Brock.
Was that a threat? You had to learn how to hide in plain sight. I'm pretty good at it. But you suck. Whoever you are.
I work at the Life Foundation, and I need your help. We found something. We call them symbiotes. Carlton Drake believes that the union between human and symbiote is the key to our evolution.
I'm feeling really sick. I'm hearing a voice. Eddie. You're not real. You were just in my head.
I'm gonna need Mr. Drake's property back.
I don't know. Why would we do that? If you're gonna stay, you will only hurt bad people.
The way I see it, we can do whatever we want. Do we have a deal?
Are you willing to sacrifice the one thing you hold most dear? You should be extremely afraid. What the hell are you?
We are Venom.
Venom! Released October 5th, 2018, with a running time of 112 minutes. It cost $116 million, and it made $856 million at the box office. So it did pretty good.
Yeah.
I see you agree.
Mr. Belvedere.
Yes. Yeah. So, yeah, it was a big hit.
I swear I fed the cat.
And I think that means it's time that we play the box office top 10 game. This is the game where I will describe the top 10 movies of October 5th, 2018. The fellas here are going to try to guess what that movie is based on the description. I'll be using the box office mojo descriptions as a jumping off point. Yeah, you ready to play the game, guys?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Here is the box office top 10 for the week of October 5th, 2018. Opening this week at number 10. I don't know how to describe this. People sing.
Sing?
Pitch Perfect.
Those are animals that sing.
The
La La Land? No.
it's a recording of a live performance. They are dressed in Egyptian dress. There is a larger lady singing very high.
It's an opera of some kind.
Yeah, you're never get. There's no reason any of you would get this. It's Verdi Aida.
Oh yeah, no way.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm aware of those operas.
Yeah, but the fact that it was
opera.
Yeah, the fact that it was recorded and released into theaters is not something which I think any of us would have known in 2018. What's that?
I said who adapted the screenplay?
Oh, David S. Goyer.
From Verdi's original.
He adapts all the screenplays.
All the best operas.
Yeah. In the operaverse.
Yeah.
At number 9 this week, in its second week, a masked serial killer turns a horror-themed amusement park into his own personal playground, terrorizing a group of friends while the rest of the patrons believe that it's all part of the show. I had not heard of this movie.
Funland?
No.
Not Funland.
Unfunland.
Unfun.
The tagline is fun going in, hell getting out.
Title
Hell,
of the section.
Hellland.
That's what she said. Hellland.
Close. It's Hellfest.
Oh, Hellfest.
This is
That's Burning Man.
yeah. The little thing on top says from an executive producer of The Walking Dead.
Oh wow.
That's the
From
best
a guy
they
who
could,
was in the room.
yeah, that's the best they could come up with. At number 8, this contemporary romantic comedy based on a global bestseller follows a native New Yorker to Singapore to meet her boyfriend's family.
Crazy Rich Asians.
Crazy Rich Asians. That's right.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a
Great
good
movie.
Yeah, very good movie.
It is.
Number 7 this week. A priest with a haunted past and a novice on the threshold of her final vows are sent by the Vatican to investigate the death of a young clergy person in Romania and confront a malevolent force in the form of a demon.
Malevolent.
No. Oh, it's
Maleficent.
it's
A priest does an execution
it's
or an exorcism.
it
or
is
both.
in the Conjuring universe, according to the
The Nun? That crazy
the
ass
nun. Yeah, that crazy
Just the Nun.
that crazy
Oh,
ass
sorry.
nun.
That was
Oh
Sally
my
Field,
God.
the Flying Nun. That crazy ass nun.
That takes me back. So I saw Venom in theaters, and then my friend and I snuck into the last 20 minutes of The Nun, and it was one of the most jarring moments of my life.
Oh God.
It had a huge jump scare, right?
Oh yeah, and well, I mean, the last 20 minutes are just bonkers, body horror sound, and it was just we sat there for the end of it. We were like, why did we come in here? Oh,
Slim to none.
Yeah.
missed the slow build up. I haven't seen it since,
But
but I know how it ends. Everybody dies.
That's a good
Yeah.
impression.
I have seen hardly any of that group.
The
of
first two
movies.
were okay because I like Patrick Wilson. Just
Yeah,
fine.
they're fun.
Yeah.
I
And the
I like 'em.
Farmiga. But they did go off the rails. That doll had its own movie, I think.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a lot. That's
Annabelle, right? That's another one.
Yeah. Which in real life was a Raggedy Ann doll, but obviously they're like, that's not creepy, and it's owned probably by someone.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. Number 6 this week in the box office top 10. Stephanie is a single mother with a parenting vlog who befriends Emily, a secretive upper-class woman who has a child at the same elementary school. When Emily goes missing, Stephanie takes it upon herself to investigate.
Wait, that took a big left turn at the end.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry. At a what? What kind of? She's a secret society gal?
No, secretive upper-class woman.
Oh,
she's
secretive.
just secretive. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not
Sounds like a secret wealthy person.
It stars Anna Kendrick and Blake Lively.
I might have missed that one.
So this was a comedy?
It does not look like it. No, it does not look like a comedy at all. Not by the
weird.
poster. It the tagline is, "Can you keep a secret?"
No.
No, move to the next person.
It's called A Simple Favor. It looks like a kind of like a pot boiler like thriller.
Yeah.
Number
set around an elementary school.
Yeah. Around a vlogger. Yeah.
Just kill them anyway.
Yeah. At what point did movies stop using writers and then a blogger and then move to a vlogger?
Yeah,
Are we right
just
around
a
that
vlogger.
moment?
Yeah, I think so. Well, and I mean, this is 2018, so next, I mean, I'm assuming any movies coming out from now on are just going to be about TikTokers.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's gonna be a wealthy TikToker.
Yeah,
That's journalism now.
Yep.
Whoever has their phone out fast enough.
yeah.
So you're right. That is. It used to be like grizzled reporter, and then
Now it's
blogger.
grizzled TikToker.
Blog.
Wait, is that the Eddie Brock story?
Well, yeah, the Brock report.
Yeah,
we'll get there.
I have some questions about what that is.
What
but-
that is and where.
Yeah, we will get
I didn't
to
know
it.
till the end of the movie that was a network of some kind. I thought
I
it was
guess.
a publication.
I thought it was
Yeah,
just a guy with an office. He rented some office space. Anyway.
Like the vampires from Blade. You rented an office upstairs.
You can do what you want in there. If you want to pretend that you run a network, go for it.
If you want to turn everything to a stone sort of dungeon, do that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if you want a bondage office, that's up to you.
Hey, man. Open office, open floor plan, bondage office. It's all the same.
Ooh, does it have a bondage office? It does. How many restrooms?
At number 5 this week on the box office top 10, a young orphan named Lewis aids his magical uncle in locating a clock with the power to bring about the end of the world.
Hugo?
This is oh, wow, we got Jack Black and some kid in this movie.
Vaguely remember.
This
Black.
is the first I am hearing of this, like at all.
It's all the Megorium.
It's
Lewis and the Clock mystery hunt. I have no idea.
I mean,
School of Clock.
I was on fire today. Yeah. Kid. The Clockmaker.
it's called
Kid Clockmaker? Is that the sequel to Clockmaker?
Kid
Or the Kid.
Clockmaker. Yeah. It's called The House with a Clock in Its Walls.
You're fucking kidding me.
Nope. That's the name.
The movie about a thing and a thing.
The movie about the house with the clock and the walls.
And normally the clock is outside the wall.
Yeah.
Normally.
And this is the
Unless
podcast
you get
about the
back
movie
contract.
about the house with the clock and the walls.
No, it's
Add it
not.
to the list.
Cast about Venom.
And the green grass grew all around. Yeah. All right.
At number 4, a group of high school dropouts are forced to make up for their class failures in hope that they'll pass the GED and finish high school. This is Kevin Hart and Tiffany Haddish.
Failing grade.
Ooh, is it? That's
No,
a good name.
it is.
Yeah.
It seemed like something you were holding back.
I mean, I was trying not to say the name of the movie, which was in the
Right.
description. Yes.
Yeah.
Teacher's
GED?
No,
Oh yeah, is it just called GED?
no, not GED.
Good enough.
But it's a very
Held back?
no. I feel like there's been a movie with this title before. Actually, I feel like something from the 80s, but I may be mixing up two other movies together. Titles,
Easy
yeah.
F.
Weird Science.
Dead Poets Society.
The class with the clock and the wall where you make up the schoolwork you missed.
You had me in the beginning there, man. Oh.
It's called Night School.
Huh. There was definitely a night school in the 80s.
Yeah, well, I
There had to
think
have been.
maybe I'm thinking
There
of
was
like
summer school.
I think I'm mixing up summer school and night shift together or something. Maybe I don't know.
Maybe
Well,
Night
yes.
Court. It's right next to Night Court.
Yeah.
It's right next to.
Number 3 this week. A Yeti is convinced.
A Yeti, not the.
No, a Yeti is convinced that the elusive creatures known as humans really do exist.
Oh, Abominable.
No, but that's a good guess.
I made that up. I don't know if that's a movie.
No, I bet you money there's a kids movie called Abominable out there
Yeah,
somewhere.
that's got to be a
that has
DreamWorks
to be,
movie, right?
Yeah.
DreamWorks or is it Sony?
Sony or
I don't see the logo. I don't know.
Or that Indonesian
No, it's a Warner Brothers
cartoon company.
Warner Brothers but it is, it is one of those. We got Channing Tatum, James Corden, Zendaya, Common, LeBron James, Danny DeVito.
Do they all play different Yeti?
the tallest person and the smallest person.
LeBron James and Danny
We have
DeVito.
LeBron James holding Danny DeVito.
So it's not abominable. Is it abdominal?
Is it abdominal?
I could build a snowman.
It is a pun.
You can make him tall.
It is
You
a
can make him not so tall.
The title is a pun on the popular name of a mythical creature.
Oh, it's not Bigfoot. It's
Littlefoot.
Close.
Clubfoot.
So close.
My left foot. My left big foot.
Not
big toe.
Not Bigfoot, but not Bigfoot,
Littlefoot.
but not
Big
not
dick.
little. What's another? Smallfoot.
You know what they say?
Smallfoot.
Really?
Yeah, it's called Smallfoot.
Oh.
All right, I'm done. Let's wrap this up.
Okay, wait, at number 2.
And that's Venom.
That's some lazy shit. All right.
Number 2 in the box office top 10 this week. A musician helps a young singer find fame as age and alcoholism send his own career into a downward spiral.
A Star is
Born.
A Star is Born, yes.
There's 5 versions of that, I believe.
Yes. Five times
myself
we
to
get to
watch them all, then in my brain was like, why?
right.
Like, just watch either the Judy Garland one or the Barbra Streisand.
5 times we get to see a man piss himself.
I've seen more than that.
Yeah, it sounds like a day for me. I don't know.
I piss myself at least 6 times a day.
Thanks, I crap my pants.
And opening at number
I am, and I did.
And opening at number 1, a failed reporter is bonded to an alien entity, one of many symbiotes who have invaded Earth, but the being takes a liking to Earth and decides to protect it.
I would say he was a successful reporter, and that's why he lost his job, not because he was failed.
So that is the box office top 10 for the week. That brings us to our comic and character background. Professor...
Well, and I'm sorry. I love the use of the word symbiote as much as I love it when a trailer just throws out names, proper names that we're supposed to know.
Like
Stephanie and Kevin are tired of their jobs.
Yeah, symbiote. We might
symbiote.
Yeah, we might as well be saying like clocker back. Like it's just a word.
Well, and
just really pounding it home so the public knows what they mean by that.
I'm just going to say this right now. It's not symbiote in this movie. It's symbiote for some reason.
Symbiote. Yeah, they do say symbiote.
They say symbiote the whole time, and I was uncomfortable.
Symbiote.
Yeah, I'm sure it's apples. It's tomato. But
that's like those motherfuckers that insist on pronouncing it Thanos.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like, guys, give it up. They said it in the movie. It's not that. I don't care what you thought it was before they said it in the movie.
I'm sticking with that.
Yeah. So, yes, Professor Al, tell us what we need to know about the comic book and character background of Venom.
I will try. We have discussed Venom before. Spider-Man 3.
Yes.
That is right.
Tobey Maguire. And what's his name?
The Topher Grace.
Topher Grace.
Topher Grace was Eddie Brock.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird, and my brain always forgets that.
Yeah.
So the short version, the Venom symbiote. I did it.
Is that how it's pronounced?
I don't know, but symbiote. The Venom symbiote was first introduced as Spider-Man's alien costume in The Amazing Spider-Man number 252, May of 1984.
Let's call the whole thing off.
The story of how he got the suit was recounted in Marvel's Superheroes Secret Wars number 8 in December 1984, showing that he picked up the suit on the planet Battleworld. Spider-Man eventually discovered the suit's true nefarious nature and separated from it using a church bell.
Sound, yeah.
He proposed.
He threw it at
and he couldn't handle that level of commitment, so he ran off.
He had gone to Jared.
Peter Parker almost died in that encounter, but the suit had taken a fondness to him and saved his life before scampering away.
Like a little rascal.
I'm a stinker.
The symbiote returned in 1988, now possessing its second and probably most well-known host, Eddie Brock, with whom it first became Venom.
Created by McFarlane and
David Michelini.
Michelini.
Yeah.
And Michelini had said there were a couple of characters that had like temporarily blocked Spider-Man's spider sense through chemical means. Green Goblin and Mysterio. Were two, and he really liked the idea of that because that was one of Spider-Man's powers that kind of sets him apart from a lot of other superheroes. That makes him like somehow stronger than even the strongest. It's just the pre-sense. So Michelini was toying around with different characters to block Spider-Man's spider sense for a while, and got a lot of them like turned down by the editors until he finally reached back to the alien suit and came up with this idea and got the green light to go ahead with Venom. And Venom would become regarded as one of the big three Spider-Man arch enemies alongside Green Goblin and Dr. Doom. Not Dr. Doom, Dr. Octopus.
Dr. Octopus. Yeah, he was an instant fan favorite.
Yeah.
Like, I don't remember any adjustment period like there were with some characters. Venom just was hot right away.
Yeah, just off the bat.
Eddie Brock was a journalist, publicly disgraced when he exposed the wrong man as the serial killer Sin Eater back in, I think that was 86. Eddie Brock Venom made his first full appearance in The Amazing Spider-Man number 300 in May of 1988. The Venom symbiote would go on to inhabit several other people, including Mac Gargan, Scorpion. I'll get to her. And let's see, Flash Thompson as Agent Venom.
That's right.
Let's see. The symbiote retained many of Spider-Man's abilities and was able to permanently evade his spider sense. That was kind of his big thing. Anne Weying was a former wife of Eddie Brock who would be possessed by the symbiote in 1995, becoming the first She-Venom.
She-Venom.
Sisters are doing it for themselves.
Yeah. Girls get it done.
Venom. It's like actress.
She-Venom. Yeah, it's like...
We got to pay that Venom less. That's what the designation's for. All right.
I hope that in She-Hulk they hang a lampshade on
her.
Yeah, or they hang a lampshade on how awful that actually is as a name.
Yeah, I hope so.
Adding she to the beginning of anything.
I hope that somebody calls her Shulk also.
Shulk. Shrek. She-Shrek.
She's some sort of she-Shrek. She sells seashells down by the seashore. She-Shrek.
It's some kind of land cow.
It's a she-woman.
It's a her chick.
Next we have Riot.
That's my name today, if anyone knows.
I saw.
Thank you. In honor of Riot.
Riot was a symbiote spawn of Venom, one of 5, with Carnage possibly being the 6th. Riot was unique among its siblings in sporting symbiote hammers and maces from its hands.
What about... Well, I'm sorry. Possibly? Carnage was possibly an offspring?
According to my research.
Interesting. There was a paternity test that needed to be conducted?
Yeah, they went on Jerry Springer.
Like these 5.
It was inconclusive.
Like, Venom, you are not the father. He gets up dancing and Carnage loses. That was a good episode.
Carlton Drake was from the comics. He was first seen in 1988. He was the leader of the Life Foundation, a survivalist group founded in response to Cold War paranoia, dedicated to building doomsday-proof communities for its members and anyone else who could pay $5 million. And finally from the comics...
real.
Sorry. Finally from the comics, we had Roland Treese. Here he was the security... The head of security at the Life Foundation.
The guy that answers when Jason Statham doesn't.
Yeah.
In the comics, he was the CEO of Treese International and a board member of the Life Foundation.
I would like to point out that he is not Michael Stipe.
Nope. So that's me in the corner.
And that's all I got.
All right.
And that's good enough. Good for you.
Thank you.
Well, they retconned a whole bunch of shit as far as the symbiote goes. And I am curious to see in Love and Thunder if it's even... Because now Gore the God Butcher was given the Necrosword by a character named Null, who is the creator of all the symbiotes.
He's effectively their god, right?
Right, and he gives Gore the Necrosword, which is built into Gore's own hand, like Venom's would be, and that's what he uses to kill the gods.
And
So
that is okay. Clintar was the planet of origin for the symbiotes, which was also Gore's planet.
Right.
That
was killed by some Asgardians? Somebody. Some god made him real mad.
Sony did.
And the symbiote's race was actually also Clintar.
but Sony did not get the rights to Gore, so that's
Well, no, I don't. Was he around when the stories? Anyway, but I wonder if in Love and Thunder they'll even. We'll see.
I mean, I don't think there's going to be anything about anything that the Sony currently owns in Thor: Love and Thunder, if I had to guess.
No. But if he's going to have the Necrosword,
Oh,
I don't think they're going to mention these aliens or anything.
Yeah. then yeah, that'll be interesting.
But
to see.
just to have it in there so they can if they want to. You know how.
Yeah.
We know how they do.
So, all right, that brings us to the production background of the film itself. The first attempt to bring Venom to the big screen was in 1997 with a script written by David S. Goyer.
Goyer. Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah,
Circle
everybody
makes a
drink. It was supposed to be made by New Line. It was going to star as Eddie Brock, Dolph Lundgren.
Wow.
Nobody ever lost that guy's number. That's wild.
Yeah,
The Punisher.
yeah, yeah. Let's see. Carnage was going to be the main villain in that. That never got off the ground. The rights moved on to Sony. Then, of course, Venom famously appeared in Spider-Man 3 with Topher Grace in the role, which we talked about in our Spider-Man 3 episode.
The Raimi-verse.
The Raimi-verse. I don't think we ever mentioned in any of our Spider-Man ones Spider-Man 4 that Sam Raimi was supposed to make. We didn't really talk about it much. I'll briefly mention it here, but he was they were well into pre-production before that got canceled. It was supposed to star Bruce Campbell as Mysterio, John Malkovich is the Vulture, and
Dolph Lundgren is Spider-Man, obviously.
of course, yeah.
That's young Peter Parker.
Black Cat was also supposed to be in it. I can't remember who was going to play that Black Cat, but yeah, they were planning on making 4, 5, and 6, shooting them all concurrently, like Lord of the Rings style.
Wow.
They just ended up not because Sam Raimi, after like 4 or 5 versions of the script, and basically told the studio, like, I don't like what you're trying to make me do. I want to make a movie that I want to make. And the studio was like, no, you'll make the movie we think you should make. So he quit. And they decided not to move ahead with Spider-Man 4, but to reboot at that point. Which is all stuff I should have talked about when we did The Amazing Spider-Man, but I did not. So, Venom. They originally were going to make a standalone Venom movie starring Topher Grace, which would have been weird since he did die in Spider-Man 3.
Yeah. So scrawny.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He really is. Except when he was in the Venom suit and we suddenly got really buff out of nowhere.
Which, yeah, you wouldn't have to be a bodybuilder. It's not like Tom Hardy's bulging out of his jacket, but yeah, Eric Foreman, we spent 8, 9 years jokes about how tall and thin and weak.
This point, Gary Ross, who was writing Spider-Man 4, was brought on to write a script for Venom. It was kind of a reboot. He was also supposed to direct. At this point, it was started from the drawing board. So that was in 2009. In 2010 is when Sony announced that Spider-Man was going to be rebooted. They didn't like Gary Ross's script, so they started over again. Josh Trank pitched an R-rated version to Sony. They said it was supposed to be like an R-rated version of The Mask, basically. I don't know what that would have been like, but it sounds more interesting than what we ended up getting.
Would it have just been a more sexist, kind of rapey version of The Mask?
Maybe, yeah.
Even more so.
Let's see. That didn't go anywhere. Avi Arad said in 2014 that this was going to take place in the Amazing Spider-Man universe. It apparently did not. Finally, in 2016, they hired on God, no, he doesn't even get that credit. Okay. In 2016, I go back and forth here. In 2016, they hired on Dante Harper to write a screenplay. They then ditched that screenplay completely. And they hired on at that point Jeff Pinkner.
The Jeff Pinkner?
The Jeff Pinkner. Let's see. With Scott Rosenberg, they're writing partners to write a script. They were writers on Fringe. They had writing credits on Amazing Spider-Man 2. They wrote the Dark Tower movie, the Jumanji movies. Kelly Marcel also gets a writing credit on this. She's kind of a script doctor, but she also has writing credits on 50 Shades of Grey, Cruella, and Let There Be Carnage. And they hired on director Ruben Fleischer. Let's see. Prior to this, directed Zombieland, 30 Minutes or Less, Gangster Squad. He just did
one of those was good.
Yeah, he just did the Uncharted movie.
Oh,
yeah. He directed The Mule, the Clint Eastwood movie, in which a 90-year-old man has a threesome.
Yeah, but and also has to smuggle drugs for the cartel to
yeah.
fund his wife's surgery or something, or his surgery.
So to fund some sort of surgery, but yeah.
Okay, but directed and starring a guy who doesn't think anyone should be allowed to cross our border.
Oh yeah. Written by Clint Eastwood, who's like famous. Yeah,
we remember he yelled at a chair.
Yes,
for 15 minutes.
Our cast includes Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock / Venom. We did talk about him when he was Bane. Michelle Williams as Anne Wayne. I was really pleased that they didn't cast a 20-year-old to play across from Tom Hardy, who's in his 40s.
Right.
Yeah.
Michelle Williams, of course, she was rose to fame with Dawson's Creek. She's
fantastic.
She's a great actress. Did she win an Oscar for
something?
For Brokeback Mountain?
Oh, did she? I know she accepted Heath's.
Yes, because she married Heath Ledger and was the mother of his child. Yeah, but they were estranged at the time of his death.
Yeah, she has 4 nominations.
No wins.
No wins.
Okay.
Brokeback Mountain, Blue Valentine, A Week with Marilyn, and Manchester by the Sea.
Huh.
Wow. She's so good.
Leading and supporting roles, all of them.
Yeah, she's very good. She's yeah, I love her. She's a great actress. Yeah. Her and Tom Hardy have the weirdest chemistry ever.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
bad. It's just weird.
It's very maternal. Like their romance, I'm not going to say it's not believable, but we never saw any, we saw more good parts in the Deadpool movies between Wade and his love than we really saw with Tom. They seem to have an affection for each other, but it was almost like a sibling or, like I said, maternal.
Yeah, definitely. It was weird.
Well,
She's like, you got me fired. Here's your fucking ring. Like that's something you can work out.
Eddie Brock is a child in this movie.
That's true. He is a bit of a child.
Yeah, he is.
Man-child.
We've got Riz Ahmed as Carlton Drake. Carlton Drake. All right. Yeah, Riz Ahmed. The Road to Guantanamo, the Four Lions. Those are kind of where he became known.
Four Lions is good.
Yeah. He played Bodhi in Rogue One. So we did talk. Yeah. And let's see. He was in. He was in The Sound of Metal. That was a good movie.
Yeah.
Was this a voice thing? He was the Corinthian in the 2020 Sandman something.
An Audible?
The audiobooks. Yeah. They did the audiobooks
right.
of The Sandman. Those are good.
With McAvoy.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Riz Ahmed is also known as Riz MC, member of the Sweatshop Boys.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Scott Hayes as Roland Treese. He's our discount Jason Statham.
Yep.
He was he was in Child of God. Thank You for Your Service, Only the Brave. He's a character actor. He seems to play a lot of like head of security kind of people.
Sinister bald guys.
Yeah.
He's in this year's Jurassic something.
Jurassic
something.
Something old, something new, something Jurassic, something blue.
Jurassic something.
From the makers of 30-something.
There are different time periods.
It's about dinosaurs that are like going through a midlife crisis. Some of them have a baby. Others can't find love.
We don't know that they didn't. Fossils can't tell you how they felt. Their brains are small. All right. I know a lot of people like that.
Reed Scott plays Dr. Dan.
He's on Vice. If you've watched, and he's also, his character's name is Dan on that.
He was also in Veep. Veep, yeah.
Veep, that's what I meant, not Vice.
Yeah, Veep.
She's the vice president.
I was like, he's a Vice contributor. He's like a journalist.
Vice, yeah, he exposed the like paint drinkers of the Congo.
He's like, I rode a boat into the Congo to drink paint. Here's my story.
The Vice report.
They're never just talking about it. They're doing it with the people.
They're doing it.
Yeah.
They made sure to bring awkward white boys with them.
Right.
Always. Veep is what I meant. Son of a bitch.
Veep. He was also in The After Party and Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. After Party was a pretty all right show.
I don't
remember him in Maisel.
I don't know if I saw that.
The After Party, it's on Apple. He was he was Gordon Ford in Mrs. Maisel. He was in 3 episodes. I think he was dating. Was he the doctor that she was dating briefly? I can't remember.
He was the voice of Green Arrow in 2021's Injustice. Animated DC.
Yep.
Jenny Slate. The effervescent Jenny Slate is Dora Skirth.
Mona Lisa Saperstein.
Yes. Jenny Slate, she got the woman who she on her first appearance as a cast member of SNL, she said "fuck" and got fired.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
She is great. John Ralphio's sister in Parks and Rec. Yeah. Money.
Henry Winkler's daughter.
Yes.
Money.
Yeah.
She's the worst.
Yeah, she's great.
He's like, she stole this woman's purse, didn't take her money or credit cards, but stole her birth control and said, "Bitch, you're getting pregnant," and ran out.
Yeah. And let's see. That rounds out our cast. Well, not counting our mid-credits sequence cameo with Mr. Woody Harrelson, who we have talked about previously also. So that is the production background of Venom, which brings us to the film itself. Fellas, you ready to jump into this thing?
Almost. I looked up. Okay, so the symbiote is not in the dictionary because it was made up for Marvel, but it's derived from the word symbiotic, which is pronounced symbiotic, just to solidify the pronunciation. They did it right.
Did they though?
Well, if they made the word up, yes. But yeah, I'll buy that. But I'd only read it.
I don't remember them saying symbiote on like the. Of course, these are children's cartoons, but the children's cartoons, I'm pretty sure they said symbiote.
Potentially.
Did they ever say
word.
it in Spider-Man 3? I can't remember.
Yeah. If they ever said it, I don't remember how it was pronounced.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. I don't know.
We open.
Speederman.
That's not my line.
Yeah.
Speederman.
Mr. Spiderman. Mr. Spiderman, I'd like you to meet Lawrence Fishburne. Here we go. This is Venom. We open on space. It's big. I mean, really big. It's
so unbelievably big.
Like you think it's a long way down to the corner.
You just can't even imagine.
Yep.
A spaceship crashes to Earth.
We're all really impressed down here, I can tell you.
Yeah. A spaceship crashes to Earth in East Malaysia. A recovery crew is on the job. We discover they had 4 samples of something that they discovered in space, but one is missing. We meet Carlton Drake.
Real quick, there's one of the astronauts who's still alive, and they name him Jameson.
Oh.
I recall, not from the comics, but from the Spider-Man animated series, that J. Jonah Jameson Jr. was the astronaut to bring the symbiote back to Earth.
He was even earlier than that. He was werewolf or man-wolf.
Man-wolf, I think.
Man-wolf, yeah.
The Moonstone.
But he actually appeared in, what was it? Spider-Man 3? He was in one of the Raimis.
He was in 3, yeah.
Mary Jane, engaged to.
Yeah.
Wow, good catch, though. Wow, yeah, James.
Yeah, I did not notice that they named him Jameson.
Astronauts.
Huh.
Yeah, good for them.
So Carlton Drake's the head of the Life Foundation who launched the mission. We meet his head scientist, Dora. I believe there's a possibility she may be an explorer.
Girth.
Yeah, Skirth.
Skirt. Every time.
I thought it was skirt. Girth.
One astronaut, apparently his name's Jameson, survived. He's injured. In the ambulance, it's revealed he's a symbiote. Now I'm going to be really conscious of saying it every fucking time.
Any way you want. That's the way you need
it. The alien creature moves from the astronaut to the EMT, causing the ambulance to crash. The EMT, now infected, walks away from the crash.
She's all EMT dynamite. Blows that man. Punches through the van.
Healing bones.
Yes.
Yeah, as she walks.
Well, she's a really good EMT.
She is. Yeah, the best.
There's a title card. We cut to San Francisco. Eddie Brock wakes up. He and his fiancée Anne have a playful little pillow fight. to show
It's our second,
what a
second
casual.
San Francisco movie in a row.
What was
Second what?
San Francisco.
Oh
movie.
yeah.
Ant-Man and the Wasp last week.
Yeah.
That's right.
I was getting flashbacks of Ant-Man and Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
Yeah.
The whole time.
They show what a loving and playful couple they are by having their little pillow fight and talking about cats. Eddie rides his motorcycle to a meeting while we get a montage of Eddie reporting.
Yeah, but what's funny is that this particular species of alien is really attracted to motorcycles and scooters and the like.
Yes.
That's how it attached itself to Peter in the first one, just on his scooter.
Yeah. Well, because if you're in a...
That looks badass. And I'm a badass alien.
And Eddie Brock has an X over his headlamp. And like, he's such a rebel. Look at this guy.
Why the X over the headlamp? I don't understand that. Is that so he's easily identifiable when you pass him in traffic?
Well, isn't it like what they used to put on light bulbs and stuff? The little cage that goes over? Helps it from shattering as easily.
I just thought it was tape.
It was electrical
tape?
tape. Yeah, it's electrical tape over it. Yeah.
He wanted it to look cool, I guess, like one of those things.
Because he's a badass, plays by his own rules kind of reporter guy.
Yeah, that's got to be a moving violation. You can't tape up your lights.
Yeah.
So he is a bad boy. And he's the head of the Brock Report.
Which is, I mean, okay. What is the Brock Report?
I thought he was a publication reporter who had an online presence, was a vlogger or blogger, which is something, especially then.
So
but no, I guess it was a network.
I guess? What is this network? That is this one guy in this one office.
He's in the Bay Area, right? And every shot they do makes it look like he is like international. They're like, it's him in front of like the dump when they found a body, and like you don't know. Dump. Yeah, you think that it's like he's in the desert somewhere, and it's like, no, I'm actually at the dump in Oakland. Right. You're like, oh, what? My big beef with this whole sequence is why the hell are the shots of him on the motorcycle interspersed with him talking about the news? Shouldn't it just be like a short montage of him being a news reporter? But
they never show Tucker Carlson in his little Shriner's car.
on his big wheel.
Yeah.
God. Exactly. Instead of a little Shriner hat, it's just a tiny little clan hood.
Oh God.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So I would assume Eddie Brock. This is a local news station, but like he's like this dude who was the grandpa on This Is Us, is the head of the network, but we don't see anyone else that works for this network. It's just this one guy in this one office and Eddie Brock.
And a couple security guards.
But they're for the whole building. Does the network own that whole building?
I don't know.
Like, that's a really big building.
One of the most famous buildings in the skyline. There's the Coit Tower, but that's not so big as it is old and famous. But then there's that one that comes to that square top.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this local media station is on the top floor or close to the top floor of the largest building in San Francisco.
But they specifically say the network at later.
The network.
What is this network? Which has
that existence.
But it's just this one guy.
The Brock Report.
Yeah, doesn't he have like? So is that this like the CEO or the president of the network? Doesn't he have like an editor or like a?
Yeah,
that's
producer?
what I thought we were dealing with. I thought that was the publisher of the publication he worked for.
Yeah, but no, he's the head of the network. So like, why is the head of the network personally assigning this one reporter to?
Right. There should be a news department for the network.
Why did we not see Eddie Brock like coming in and like it's like, cameras and like video banks and like there are producers. Right. Why didn't he have a producer character?
Or a bullpen of other
something.
Or a set that he walks off of.
Something. But no, it's like they're like, we've got 2 days to shoot. We have a room with a desk. Get a guy in here.
Let's get it. Brock Report.
So yeah. Let's see. The president of the network tells him he has an interview with Carlton Drake about his space program. Eddie doesn't want to do the interview because he considers Drake to be an evil oligarch. He reluctantly agrees to do it, though, because the network took a chance on him.
He's told to make it a puff piece.
A puff piece.
Yeah. At dinner that night, we discover that Anne's law firm works for the Life Foundation and that Eddie had to leave New York because of an incident at the Daily Globe. They go home, have sex, and when she falls asleep, Eddie goes through her laptop, finding documents from the Life Foundation detailing wrongful death suits from the families of test subjects that the Life Foundation was experimenting on. That's definitely a real breach of trust, Eddie. You're not a good guy.
That's definitely an injury engagement kind of action.
Yeah, that one is. That's true.
He had perfect timing, man. There's, movies, I'll accept whatever, but he's sitting there drinking his jug of orange juice when her email comes in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lucky break.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the interview with Drake the next day, Eddie confronts him about the lawsuits. So Drake gets Eddie and Anne both fired and breaks off the engagement with Eddie because of it. So this movie was really, really brisk. Like when I saw the running time, I'd forgotten because I hadn't seen it since the theater. When I saw the running time of 112 minutes, I was like, okay, regular movie size. But no, it's a 90-minute movie with 25 minutes of credits and a trailer at the end for Spider-Verse.
Right. Yeah, it's quick.
Yeah.
Well, and the first 40 minutes is so slow.
He gets infected halfway through the movie. The movie's half over before he gets infected.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we cut to the samples from space arriving at the Life Foundation.
Some sort of liquid creatures.
Yes. Then in Malaysia, the symbiote changes host bodies. In San Francisco, Dora and Carlton are performing experiments with the symbiotes they have.
But don't forget, backpack's there.
Yeah. Swiper, no swiping.
No swiping on homeless people.
Map.
Do you guys remember Dora's cousin Diego? Jude.
Yeah.
Jude, I don't know. Jude was the right age for those shows when that was on, so there was a lot of
So was
Dora
Ella.
and a lot of Diego. Diego was a little bitch. He did not have any of the charm of Dora.
No, I agree.
Anyways, let's see. They discover that the symbiotes can't survive without oxygen-breathing hosts, which often fatally reject the symbiosis. Drake orders Dora to begin human trials.
Because you always go rabbit to human.
Yeah.
Bam. That's what got Mary Kay shut down.
Like we're going to rub mascara in your eyeballs.
I'll do that myself, thank you.
Yeah. So one of the symbiotes accidentally dies. We cut to 6 months later. Eddie's out of work. He can't get a job in journalism. He drinks, and we see he's friendly with the people in the neighborhood, including homeless people. One lady named Maria. He sees his local bodega owner. Are there bodegas in San Francisco? I honestly don't know.
There are.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
There are brownstones. There's got to be bodegas.
Well, and he's near Chinatown.
Oh yeah, and
he drives through it a lot.
He has taken a stumble down the economic ladder a little bit. That's what they're trying to show by him being in Chinatown.
Yeah,
in a tiny
As
flat.
opposed to that sweet lawyer apartment.
Yeah, he had a real nice place with Anne, but then now he's
he really
living in
fucked that one up.
Yeah,
He went from Danny Tanner Manor down to Chinatown.
yeah. Riches to rags. So he sees his local bodega owner being shook down by a local protection racket. And then his next door neighbors have loud sex and play the guitar.
No, it's his music. I totally thought it should have been his guitar.
No, I thought it was his guitar. It sounded like a dude just playing guitar.
Yeah,
I thought so too. But when he answers the door for Eddie, the music is playing.
Oh, yeah, the music continues as he's at the door with Eddie.
Right?
Was his girlfriend playing guitar? Maybe.
Could be.
I don't know.
Because it sounded like a guy.
It was a real guitar.
It sounded like a guy practicing guitar. It didn't sound like a
There was
song.
no rhythmic anything. Yeah.
Right.
This movie is fucking. This movie is insane. It really is.
This movie doesn't care about itself enough.
No, it doesn't care about anything. It doesn't. It really doesn't. It doesn't care who it hurts.
I think if you take out the symbiote fight scene at the end, it's kind of an interesting sort of investigative thriller to an extent.
Yeah, I mean,
but then the fight of the aliens at the end is where it goes somewhere else. But of course, they had to do that.
Well, okay, so I mean, at the halfway mark, he gets infected. Then there's 20 minutes of him dealing with being infected, 20 minutes of the big battle at the end, and then we're done.
Right.
Like it's like there's hardly anything to this movie at all. It barely exists as a story.
Do you guys know about pitch meetings on YouTube?
Mm-hmm.
So like, I've got an idea for a movie, and it's the dude talking to himself.
Yeah.
I watched that last night. I was like, I haven't seen that for this one. And he says that this movie switches genres like every 5 or 6 minutes. And thinking about that, I was like, holy shit, yeah, it really does like kind of shift from genre to genre to genre throughout the movie.
Yeah, it's it's about journalism, and then it's about science ethics, which ties into the journalism, but he's not really a journalist anymore. He has
the
to
through
give the
line
story away.
Is really tenuous. Like, I guess Eddie is the connecting thread for all of that stuff, but it's not
just Eddie.
Yeah.
But they made such a good match.
Like I hate to say, like if this had been a Marvel movie, they would have been like, cut 2/3 of that shit, make it about a journalist who's investigating the science and the morality of, human,
trials.
Studies, human trials.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because this movie is an absolute mess. It's like super forgettable outside of Tom Hardy's, very, very interesting performance. But I can't bring myself to hate it. Like, there's nothing like it's totally fine.
Yeah,
like, I don't dislike this movie really. It's just outside of Tom Hardy, there's not much to it.
But like we said, Michelle Williams does. Yeah, you're right. It does switch genres, but in each of the different scenes, they're interesting enough. Yeah. I don't dislike it.
I feel like this time rewatching it, it was worse than the last time I watched it, and I'd seen it maybe twice before this. It's just like every time I'm watching it, I'm like, oh. Now is Carnage going to be worse next time I watch it?
I have yet to see Carnage, and this is the first time I've seen this since the theater. So,
I enjoyed Carnage. I thought it was fun. It was dumb, like in the same way that this is.
Too. Right.
Yeah.
All right.
So, all right. Yeah. So, anyways, the Dora approaches Eddie. Or no, at the Life Foundation, they continue the human trials. We see a symbiote bond with a homeless man who volunteered, and he dies. Dora,
we get the weird your name's Isaac. That's a biblical name, you know that, right?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, dude, my name's Isaac. Of course I know that.
I like that actor, and I think he does a fine job. And I think his motivations are absolutely sinister and evil.
Mm-hmm.
But they did not really do much to make that guy seem sinister or evil.
They just kept
in the
telling
right
us.
hands. That biblical bullshit in the right hands could have sounded a little more.
Yeah,
he's
every
not
time
menacing. He's not menacing.
He came off as like fake friendly instead of menacing.
Right, but he's the same kind of evil that like Martin Shkreli kid was. The guy that, bought the medical patents and raised the prices on medicine.
Well, and I think that's what they were going for, like young tech startup evil, like Elon Musk evil.
Like Zuckerberg.
Zuckerberg evil.
There just could have been a performance that was somewhere.
His performance was pretty milquetoast,
I think it was on the page, not him, but what?
His sinister nature was embedded in let's jump to human trials right now.
Yeah, I said his intentions were definitely.
Yeah.
And then this guy dies, and he's like, bring in the next volunteer.
Yeah, no.
Just no remorse at all.
Well, yeah.
But if you were in a bar, wouldn't you just lay that dude out?
Yeah.
Like, what's sinister about that guy?
Yeah.
Eddie Brock could break his fucking nose.
Eddie says multiple times throughout the movie, he's not right. There's something wrong with this dude. He's evil.
Right.
Like,
yeah. It's just that's good old fashioned evil. That's psychopathy there.
Yeah.
Which to me just shows like it's part of it's the writing. It's just so thin that they had to have another character prop up. Like, in case you missed it, he's the bad guy.
It is. Well,
right. We had to put an alien in him just to really make sure.
Yeah. Exactly.
He's not really.
God, I love him with the alien inside him though. That's where it really starts to make sense.
Well, and like I think that's the thing. Like, sure, his actions are evil, but next to Tom Hardy's like balls out performance, he just comes across as very, very boring as a character.
Yeah.
Right. And essentially it's so that human beings can evolve in space.
Yeah.
Or, live and evolve in space. And so he thinks he has a noble blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
On the page, it wasn't great villain wise.
Yeah. So anyways, Dora approaches Eddie, tells him about all the stuff happening that's bad. She wants Eddie to investigate and expose Drake's practices. Eddie refuses. He does some light stalking of his ex.
The editing of him in the bodega with Skirt when
was confusing.
I honestly like that as a decision because you're like, is he fucking out of his mind? He's talking to himself about
right
following people. This is so weird. And then she pops her head out as he's like, you're bad at this.
Yeah.
I really like that because it was confusing and it made us think like, oh, maybe he isn't as unreliable of like a point of view.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, it was a weird choice, but
I
ultimately I was like, oh, I was confused, but I really liked that.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
No, I thought you meant like to that scene. Like I looked down and then I looked up and they were having that conversation.
The bodega. The bodega is weirdly edited multiple times in this movie, and I'll point out the other time that it jarred me too, which is the very, very end of the movie. But anyways,
so we meet Anne's new boyfriend Dan. He's a doctor,
surgeon.
A surgeon. So of course he's going to be running MRIs and like tests.
Right.
He's taking a special interest, but don't forget they don't really let us know what kind of doctor he is because there's a slight gag coming up.
Anne tells Eddie that they're never going to get back together, which she is right to tell him. Eddie is sad, and so he decides to call Dora and pursue the story. She sneaks him into the lab, tells him that while exploring space for new habitable worlds, a Life Foundation probe discovered a comet covered in symbiotic life forms. They brought back 4. She tells him about the experiments with the symbiotes and that Drake believes they are the future of mankind's survival. Eddie finds a homeless lady he knows named Maria as one of the test subjects. He tries to rescue her, but the symbiote possessing her transfers to his body without him realizing, leaving Maria dead. Alarms go off. Eddie escapes the facility, displaying inhuman strength and agility. He goes home and begins displaying strange symptoms, including immense hunger and hearing a deep voice in his head.
And let's not forget that these cells that these aliens test subjects are in cannot break the glass, but fire extinguishers can.
Yeah.
A blunt object is not going to work on like bulletproof.
Yeah, that was like very yeah, exactly. He was not going to break that with a fire extinguisher.
And if he could, the aliens could too, with their turning into an axe.
Yeah, they were inside her. How are they not breaking out? I mean, even if their host isn't like the best host and they need to find another one, they can still
shatter that
they
glass.
Can still venom or they venomize.
Yeah,
they can
venomize, which is like Martinizing. I understand.
Yeah, it's a process.
It's venomizing.
The garbage chicken scene made me nauseous.
There was
I
a
love
lot of
that shit.
there
All
was
the time.
there was some pretty gross shit in here with food, and like his apartment is pretty gross, and yeah,
Yeah.
for
Garbage
sure.
chicken.
Yeah.
Garbage. Pigeons.
Back at the lab, Drake is furious about the break-in and the loss of the symbiote, but one test subject has successfully bonded with his symbiote back in Malaysia. That symbiote that escaped switches bodies again and boards a plane to the U.S. Flying coach. Meanwhile, Eddie tracks down Anne and Dan at a restaurant. Tells them about what's happening. He has a freak out, ends up in the lobster tank. As we all, who hasn't ended up in the lobster tank once?
Eddie Furlong has.
Yeah,
You remember
that's
that?
right. I forgot about that. Oh my god.
That happened in
I
real
like
life,
this,
right?
though.
Yeah.
In real life, he set a bunch of lobsters free in a Ralph's or something.
But
But-
okay, setting lobsters free in a supermarket. Where are they going to go? That's not the ocean.
Into the
there-
sewer
there are
grates
more-
and into the ocean. They're connected.
Yeah, there are more questions than answers for Mr. Furlong. But I liked this scene. I think that's funny. And then, like all Splash style, Daryl Hannah. He just,
Yeah.
I was
I-
reading about this.
you
This was
could do.
improvised, and he wanted to do it, and they were like, "We'll have to build you a tank to do this." So they had
He's
to
a
then
little
stop
guy.
his improvisation and build like a plexiglass lined tank, and then fill it
They-
with fake lobsters and then real
They
lobsters.
use film magic a lot, but Tom Hardy's kind of a short guy. Well, average.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
around my height, under like
I
5'9",
liked
5'10",
his
around.
I liked his line when he grabbed the first lobster off the plate and eats it, and chews into it. It's like, this is dead. This is dead.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Gotta eat living.
Tom Hardy is doing something. I don't know what it is exactly, because it's not like Bane where he's doing like a voice and being crazy. It's not like the Joker, like, but he's really doing like a very interesting performance that's very understated also.
What was the
Yeah.
movie where he played twins?
Notorious
Yeah.
about those two gangsters.
Yeah.
He also had a show on FX called Taboo, and that was really good.
He
well.
I guess he himself developed a technique where he would record the off-screen bit and then wear an earpiece so he could act against himself talking to himself instead of
yeah.
having somebody read him the line off screen.
Oh wow.
He
Right.
did all that beforehand and then acted against that, which is interesting. Like
Yeah.
I'm sure
It
that
is. That's
he was advised
a
not
unique
to do
method.
that initially and probably
Sure.
pushed for that and then used that again in this movie. So kind of
Huh.
neat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
for
because
sure.
we didn't mention that he does the voice of Venom also.
Oh yeah.
Right. And I think it's when you said earlier that they wanted to make it more sort of like The Mask. I think what in my mind I pictured what Tom Hardy did really well in this was the like Martin and Lewis type banter that he has with himself.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he made some cool choices with Eddie through that. You know, we do think he's talking to himself, like Brian said. Then we realize he's not, and then they start having that banter that becomes really entertaining.
Yeah. No, it does. Eddie and Venom have a lot of chemistry.
Yeah, and like we're just saying, it's himself.
Yeah.
I wonder which he. That's interesting.
Yeah. So all right. So Dan.
I wonder if he recorded Venom before they started live production.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Or if he was doing it like the day before or something, they would
Or,
take breaks or something.
Yeah.
Curious.
So all right. Dan takes Eddie back to the hospital, run some tests. Then Eddie goes home.
So the MRI machine fucks with Venom.
Yeah.
That really hurts him. And then the kind of Dr. Dan was is because he works at the same hospital that was in the Incredible Hulk, where dogs are allowed in. And for a split second, you think maybe he's a vet.
Oh, huh.
And Eddie does too. They walk out, and the first thing they see is this woman with the dog. And Dan's like, "Oh, hey, there's the little guy." Da da da. And then like, "How did the surgery go?" "Pretty well."
Yeah.
And the dog's not allowed in here. We're like, "Oh, okay, you got me."
He's not really a vet. He's a real doctor. Yeah.
But Dogs are allowed in, no matter their size.
Yeah, of course. It's a hospital. All hospitals.
It's a hospital.
Hospitals double as kennels.
Get with the times.
Back at the Life Foundation, it's discovered that Dora was the one.
Instead of leeches, they just applied dogs.
Applied dogs.
Sorry. Go on.
It's discovered that Dora was the one who let Eddie into the lab, and the host of the last remaining symbiote is dying. Drake exposes Dora to the remaining captive symbiote, killing both of them.
Why did they not know immediately? Because she showed her fucking ID card at the gate. She had to use her ID card to open the elevator. She had to use her ID card.
Yeah.
Like,
spotted late at night in the lab by the security guy.
It took them hours to figure this out. They should have been like, "Oh, it's Skirt. Get her."
Wait, did they figure it out? Or because there is a scene where Jenny tells him, admits to him what he was doing, like,
that's
"I'm sorry,
because
I wanted to help you."
the security guy, like
Discount Bill Burr.
There's
tells
that
him.
scene where she opens her office door and he's sitting there. He's like, "Hello, Dora. We have something to
Discount Bill
discuss."
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Girth. Dora Girth.
Okay, so Dan tells Eddie that he has a parasite. He keeps hearing the voice more. He freaks out on his neighbor. Then Drake's men show up to try to get the symbiote from Eddie. Venom defends himself, and we get our big mid-movie. Oh, I say mid-movie. We're like 2/3 of the way through at this point. There's a big action fight scene. The Drake's guys chase Eddie on his awesome motorcycle. He becomes
we got
Venom.
the really funny when they gas the room. Masks. And
it's a little bit later.
Oh, is that later? Oh, I thought that was in this sequence.
Yeah. That's later when.
Oh, this is the car chase.
The car
where he
chase,
is
yeah.
grabbing cars.
The first time where he goes
Steve McQueen.
The first time he goes full Venom, yeah. Yeah. So he ends up escaping, swims out to the Golden Gate Bridge, where Venom introduces himself, tells him that they're here to that he needs to get to a rocket.
Yep.
Meanwhile, the symbiote.
His name is Venom.
Yeah.
Was it only a thing in the trailer, or what? I swore there was a scene where they were like arguing what to call themselves, and like what was badass and what was lame. I swear there was
I think that was
like
a Carnage thing because Carnage he wanted to be, what's the name? The like Midnight Defender or some shitty.
Oh,
right.
yeah.
They were trying to think of a superhero name. I swear there was a scene.
That's the Carnage trailer.
So okay, so this alien says that his name is Venom.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So on their planet, he's called Venom.
And his boss is called Riot.
Yeah, and they all have goofy names like that. They all sound like the drummer in a hair metal band.
Yeah. But those words, their language is, I guess, eerily similar.
Well, I mean,
in the most recent run, they all have it's like Shriek and some other name, and Poison.
Human Earth words.
It's just funny that it's not like my name is Maliklaka, which translates to Venom. Like,
yeah,
right, right. Yeah, I'm Todd.
I will say this:
call me Venom.
This is Sony, so they're just like screw it. No time to explain.
No time. There's no time.
There isn't.
That was the theme of this.
We need 25 minutes of credits. Go.
There's no time. He can fly.
And 5 minutes of the Eddie Brock report while he's riding his motorcycle around fucking San Francisco. That could have been left on the cutting room floor.
Revealing things that are wrong. Like, it's a big city. Things are wrong.
Oh, I'm just going to keep circling around to that. Did we notice that had Hulk, like, comic book panel edits where they were shifting around all the time?
Yeah, like Ang Lee style. Yeah.
So real quick,
that hospital.
Venom's spawned children. I guess there were more than 5. Were named Scream, Lasher, Phage, Agony, Riot, Mania, Sleeper, and Carnage.
They are
Kevin.
so fucking goth. So
Sleeper.
edgy.
So edgy on that planet.
Yes. Oh my god. They only listen to nu metal there. So let's see. Dan tells Anne that Eddie is going to die.
Dan tells Anne the plan, and she scans the plan.
And she's all, you the man.
You the man, Dad. I'm a big fan.
Anne starts looking for Eddie. Eddie heads to his old job's building where he and Venom climb up to the top and break into his old boss's office. They leave him a phone with video evidence of Drake's experiments.
And they forgot that it was fingerprint locked. But
That's like Venom's turning point. He gets up to the top of the building. He's like, it's peaceful up here.
Yeah.
yeah, he's like,
Your world is not so ugly after all.
Yeah. This
like,
is
really?
Like, that's all it took. Just
That's all it took.
Well,
and
and-
San Francisco is one of our more beautiful cities, I will say. But
Yeah.
like, it's still a city nonetheless. That's still a harbor. That's a working bay
Yeah.
and harbor.
Well, and this is supposed to contrast with Eddie's comments when he's in his boss's office, whoever that guy, whatever his role is at the company.
His office.
He's like, "It's a great view, isn't it, Eddie?" And Eddie's like, "I don't like heights."
yeah,
Ugh."
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
he
a
doesn't.
character trait. He's scared of heights. And so he has to go to the top of the building and be like, "Oh."
Well, no, it's kind of fun because he's good to go, but then that jet freaks Venom out because of the immense sound, and then
Yeah.
just sliding down a building, which is terrifying for anyone.
Sure.
We all are afraid of heights at that height.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's afraid of heights when you're currently falling off a building.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, heights aren't a problem for me.
Hard to
Like, yes,
overcome.
you just haven't reached that height yet.
So
it's not the height, it's the speed at which the ground is approaching me.
That is
yeah,
true.
yeah.
You're right. Yeah. If I could just stay sitting there.
meanwhile,
It's the falling.
yeah. Meanwhile, at the Life Foundation, the little girl symbiote arrives and bonds with Drake.
I want to say that when the EMT first started walking away in the very beginning, I was so ready to make jokes about how she walked from Malaysia. But as short as this movie is, they took pains to let us know that somebody did not just walk from Malaysia.
No.
Well,
They
Okay.
took planes, trains, and automobiles.
there is a 6-month time jump
Yeah, it took 6. Wait, it took 6 months.
for
She
them
was
to walk
wait.
to the airport, catch the plane, and then arrive at the Life Foundation.
Oh my God, you're
6
right, because
months.
she becomes
6 months later.
that little girl, and then there's the 6-month jump. It took
No.
No,
The
it's-
6-month jump happened before it inhabited the little girl.
Okay, but still,
she's
so that old
wandering
lady
around
was
in Malaysia
walking
for
to the
So
airport
she was
for 6
wandering around
months.
Malaysia.
For 6 months,
Yeah.
wandering around Malaysia.
She's like, I wanted to take off that break year in between where I just backpacked around Malaysia.
She was doing ever increasing circles,
Yeah.
trying to find several
Wider radius.
not just walking in one direction, but yeah, just going around in circles.
That
Well,
makes sense.
what is that Julia Roberts movie? Eat, Drink, Love. It's like,
Eat, pray, love.
eat, pray, love. She's like, eat, pray, symbiote.
She's got something in her. Those teeth.
So, all right.
Yeah, that little girl who travels on, like, she just walks away.
Just walks away from her family. Yeah.
Just walks
It's
away.
like, bye, honey, have fun.
Well,
yeah.
I got you to San Francisco. She's like, well, I'm a vampire. I'm actually 200 years old.
Did she ride the plane with her family? I have so many questions about this.
Ostensibly, but she walked into an airport restroom by herself, which, first of all, don't let your children walk into airport bathrooms.
Yeah.
No.
It's like at a bus station. Yeah. She
Yeah.
just seems very independent.
What is
this
that?
young lady.
What is that scene on the airplane where she's
Also-
sitting with her mom and dad? They're like, honey, are you okay?
It's like, do you want some
Yeah.
nuts? No, a liver.
I knew we shouldn't have brought our 5-year-old daughter to Malaysia.
You want some garbage chicken?
It's a weird choice too to not have the kid like
Yes, I
wearing a
do.
backpack at an airport. 'Cause she's at an airport, and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
even if your kid is traveling with you, you put a backpack on them so they carry their own shit.
Yeah,
Right.
you're at their etch-a-sketch in there, and
Yeah, like a
Well,
book.
even if it's none of their shit, you use them as a pack mule because you can only bring X amount of shit on a fucking plane. It's like when you go to Disneyland.
Yeah.
nobody checks the
The
little
kids
kids.
carrying other shit. You what?
Did nobody checks the little kid for coke?
That's right.
Nobody suspects the children.
Oh God, yeah, that she was a drug mule. That's
She was.
That's my new head. Like it was a real broke down palace situation.
Just full of balloons.
So
And not those Mylar unicorn balloons either.
So, all right. At the hospital, Dan explains that the symbiote is rotting Eddie's internal organs. Eddie notes that the symbiote has two weaknesses: high-pitched noises and fire.
And sweets.
And romance novels. Although Venom claims that the organ damage can be reversed and uses an MRI machine to separate him from Eddie, Eddie leaves angry with Venom and gets immediately captured by Drake's men.
Yeah.
And
Immediately needs them.
controls the MRI machine. She's a lawyer.
Yes.
Yeah.
How does she know how to work that MRI machine?
Is that thing really one click to start?
I guess.
I would guess no.
What is the separate alien from man setting on an MRI?
Yeah.
All right. I forgot to mention that they did a throwback to the Raimi Spider-Mans by having him insisting on taking the elevator down.
Oh yeah.
If we remember when Spidey was having his sort of crisis of identity, that he takes the elevator down.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But the reason I thought of that is because Michelle Williams from this point on in the movie kind of looks like Gwen Stacy. She's got the same kind of headband. She's got the like go-go boot.
The bangs.
Skirt, the bangs. Yeah, the headband, the bangs, and then the Anyways, something I caught.
So all right. Venom escapes the room through a vent, takes over the dog, then Anne. At the Life Foundation, Drake questions Eddie as to the whereabouts of Venom, revealing that he's bonded with a symbiote named Riot. Drake agrees to take Riot in a Life Foundation space probe to collect the rest of the symbiotes and bring them to Earth.
Yeah. Riot is totally the name of the dude who drives the tour bus. Like that's just you can choose the band, but Riot is the dude that's driving you from city to city.
100%. He's a roadie. He's not. Yeah.
Yeah, he moves your piano on and off stage.
Yeah. So Drake's main dude takes Eddie into the forest to kill him, but Venom shows up, bonded with Anne, kills the men. Kisses Eddie, transferring back into his body. Venom says that he's been convinced to help protect Earth from his kind through Eddie showing him what love is, how to live, love, laugh,
pray,
eat, drink, sleep. Man, woman, tree, horse,
pride.
French fried taters. Some call it a sling blade.
Every outhouse, boathouse, doghouse.
Every outhouse, boathouse, doghouse, mid-century colonial.
Just Tommy Lee Jones going on for an hour.
She
building.
Yeah, what, Al?
She Venom looked good.
Yeah, for a second there.
She did, yeah.
Mess.
Yeah.
This is a bummer. Venom. This is a bummer that we got it for such a brief moment. I would have liked to see more of her being Venom.
Yeah.
There's one. Isn't there a female symbiote in the second one?
In Carnage?
Girlfriend or something?
I don't think she's a
I'm with
symbiote.
you, though. Oh.
Yeah. I think she's just,
she's Dutch Irish.
she's got the power to sing real loud, I guess.
Shriek, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
That was one of them.
But yeah, I would have liked to see
woman,
Michelle Williams play this for at least another 30 seconds.
Yeah.
The immediate kiss and transfer of the power was a bummer to me. I would have liked for her to kiss him and be like, "You're lucky I didn't eat your face. Stay out of my business."
Yeah.
And then like carry him somewhere. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. It wasn't nearly emasculating enough for me.
Nope. It was a quick transfer.
Yeah. We're learning something about Brian today.
ready for She-Hulk, man.
Back at the Life Foundation, Drake tells his crew he's intending on piloting the probe himself. When they express concern as to his spacefaring abilities, he kills them all.
He's piloting the probe.
I'm sorry, this was hilarious to me. It's like, can you imagine Elon Musk being like, I'm going to fly the SpaceX rocket myself? And they're like, are you sure you could do that? And when they question him, he just turns into a symbiote and just kills them all.
Just pulls out his knife.
You went all the way with it. What up?
Oh, he pulls out his knife hands and beheads all the crew. Elon Musk does.
Yeah, because science.
And then pays them each $250,000 to keep quiet.
With their heads off.
This was the moment where Riot went, because when we see Riot talking shit, there was a moment where he was like, oh, this is fun. But his hands become the size of the fucking room. Like,
apparently.
There are no rules to the limitations of Riot's abilities, which was a big bummer because he should have been able to do that with one arm, and like.
I mean, they mentioned that
thinned out or something like.
They had a line of dialogue to allow Riot to be able to do anything. Like,
they said he can do shit
you don't even know.
Yeah, but
he's like a manager at the symbiote company.
They said
they gave him a key.
They called him a team leader. That means
team leader. Yeah, exactly. He keeps track of attendance occurrences and stuff.
Like, wouldn't you say he's like a fucking governor or like a fucking like warlord, but a team leader?
He's
like,
a team leader.
He was the scientist.
He's the shift lead at Kmart.
Yeah,
like he has a job, and his name is Riot.
He's in charge of professional development.
Yeah, he makes $1. He makes $1.15 more an hour than the others.
Yeah, holds workshops every now and then.
I thought about going for Riot's job, but too much responsibility. Like for too
the whole thing's a metaphor for STDs. So every now and then.
Well, the nice thing is when you become team leader, then you become eligible for the medical coverage. So
that's a dental
buy-in.
Yeah.
But this moment was like, okay, this end of this movie is going to be out of fucking control. If his hands can spread 40 feet and he can just swing them around.
Yeah.
Like he's like chopping vegetables.
Chop.
Yeah.
It was so CGI. This might be the most CGI end to a movie. It didn't have a sky beam, but like
but that's what I was saying earlier. My least favorite part was the two aliens fighting.
Yeah,
and there
super
were a couple
boring
of shots that
not
were
Venom
cool.
himself. I like that. Yeah, there was a couple.
But the connecting parts and the rules, there were no fucking make rules and follow them.
Yeah,
it was a bridge though. You said there was no sky beam, but there was a battle on a bridge.
That's true. They did fight on a bridge. It had rails though. Sadly.
Yeah, they were underneath on the.
Yeah, I just once. I mean, I want to see like an end battle that just takes place like. In a parking lot. Like, why is it always like a bridge, scaffolding? So, like,
he's fighting in a grocery store. Ah, fuck, I would love that.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, like a Walmart, like
because
real
you have
humans
to fight. Because you have to fight while going somewhere.
That's fair.
So, all right.
And it's got to be able to be a spectacle. So the next day when it's in all the headlines, everyone has gotten a photo of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is another thing. It's like, Michelle Williams is watching them fight, and it's like, wait, where's that camera? The camera would be on the bridge, I would think. Instead of floating out somewhere. Looking at the bridge.
Also, lawyer Michelle Williams, not only can she control a fucking MRI machine, she knows how to power the rocket's systems.
Yes.
Yeah, and she creates the feedback with the microphone on the PA system that's on the bridge or in the
Yeah. Lawyer Michelle Williams is really a multi hyphenate here. She's
exactly.
She's a triple threat.
She's a scientist lawyer like Jarrell.
It's like a DJ and a nurse.
She started off as a patent lawyer, so she's like.
She only does.
Her first degree was in I don't know, neurobiology.
She only does maritime law.
The first one's in English lit. Yeah, maritime.
Bird law.
Bird law.
You're a crook. Bird law.
So, all right. So, they Venom and Eddie have their big fight when Riot's trying to get on board the rocket. He launches it. Venom manages to damage it as it ascends, causing it to explode, killing Riot inside. Venom and Eddie fall to the ocean. Venom seemingly dies from the flames as Eddie survives, landing in the water.
But Venom is able to, as he sort of makes a parachute a little bit to slow Eddie's descent down, and then he burns away. We think he's gone though.
Yeah.
I think my least favorite thing in this whole movie is Eddie Brock shouting, "Venom, no!"
No, my favorite stuff is like Drake would say, "Don't lose him. Don't worry, boss. Arm the weapons." It's like, okay, those should have been armed already. It's like, we need to get this alien, and the guy's like, "You got it, boss." He's like, "Ground units, go." It's like, weren't the ground units? Aren't you the
Ground
just the dial? Yeah, just the terrible.
You know what? If you actually think about like the mechanics of like commanding these forces to do things, like you have like a team of like where you can't just operate like a murder and mayhem squad in the middle of San Francisco, no matter how rich you are.
On radio frequencies.
Right.
And it's funny that the boss is on a different frequency. It's like, why not cut out that middleman and be like, arm the weapons? Like, you got it, main boss. But instead it has to go through.
Yeah, why is
Jason
he micromanaging any of this?
He flies the ship. He separates the aliens. He washes and dries. There's nothing that Drake can't
That was
do.
a question I had before earlier. Dora comes out to interrupt the interview to tell him to interrupt him talking to the kids to tell him it's time to get ready for his interview. That's a secretary or a person. Right. That's not what your head scientist does.
Right.
Why isn't she off doing the science?
Okay, I have a theory. This movie was written by a 12-year-old.
I have a theory.
Like, is David S. Goyer just having his children write movies now?
We don't know that David S. Goyer isn't a few children in a trench coat. We've never had that confirmed.
He works at the business factory. He made the business.
Forever.
He does business. His business papers.
So all right. Sometime later, Eddie has has a friendly relationship with Anne. He's returned to journalism. Anne thinks Venom's dead, but we discover he's not. They plan on fighting crime. Also, Venom plans on getting Anne back together with Eddie. I just want to see Matchmaker Venom as like
Matchmaker.
It's like a Venom dating show, like The Bachelor. But
I know. I appreciate
really,
he doesn't want to bang everything.
I really like the dynamic of Venom having been inside her.
Ooh.
That's
but
quite the dynamic.
having carnal knowledge of his ex and really, really wanting them to get back together. Like he's like, no,
Yeah.
I know her. I know her like I know you. This should work.
yeah,
I don't know why this doesn't work. Yeah, it's really like fun and like I don't know. I've had friends like that. They're like,
I absolutely wanted to put a ring on it.
Yeah, get together with
But
your
then
ex. She's
Dr.
great.
Dan, she's the best.
yeah. So, Eddie starts by helping his local bodega owner fight against the
Stan Lee cameo.
Yeah, we get our Stan Lee cameo.
Oh,
Give up on her.
Yeah, and
Either of you. Stan Lee seems to know that he's got someone inside him.
Yeah.
Weird.
And he
knows.
he helps.
I don't know if it was uncredited, but there's no Todd McFarlane or Dave.
Oh yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
cameo. Unless they were, I didn't spot them, and they're not credited anywhere.
So yeah, Eddie helps by starts by helping his local bodega owner fight against the protection racket by eating the guy. Then we roll credits. I would point out our credits are played to an explainer song by Eminem.
And it's not
Oh
that
my
bad.
god.
I'm gonna stand up. It's not that bad.
It's so
Especially if
bad.
you- no.
How
I
many
don't
words
think so.
can you rhyme with Venom? I'm gonna put it in
Surprisingly.
him. I'm gonna shoot
Venom.
him. You know, you're like, dude, what the
Venom.
fuck? Like,
I kind of like it for an
I just-
explainer song.
well, and it's just it leans
as
so
a
heavily
song.
on the title of the movie.
So
that it
much.
just within 15 seconds, I was like, this is insane. This whole
I mean,
thing
it's
is
no go
insane.
turtles, go ninja, go.
I watched it with my friend, and she like suffered through the movie. We got to the credits. She goes, "Wow, that was a movie." And then the song started playing, and she looked at me and goes, what the hell is this, man? Is
So-
that Eminem?
That's an
Like,
appropriate
yes.
reaction.
I wanted to jump back to the bodega, the final bodega scene.
Oh, yeah.
Venom's speech to the bad guy was
Right.
so awesome. It's just like, I'm going to bite off your arms, and I'm going to bite off your legs, and I'm going to bite off your face, and you'll be this armless, faceless thing rolling down the street like a turd in the wind.
Yes.
And then he's like, never mind. It doesn't matter, but the mechanics of Venom eating, we've seen it. We saw him take heads off and swallow a whole body with no blood or viscera whatsoever. It just swallows them whole, and then they're in Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
PG-13.
They're just inside Tom Hardy.
Again, the
Before we-
mechanics, it's not important.
Before we get to this bodega, they're looking for food and they're looking at restaurants, and Eddie and Venom are kind of chatting like, oh, where should we eat? And Eddie says, I know a place. They're not next to the bodega, but it's edited as he walks into the bodega.
Yeah.
So it feels like he just turned and he's like, oh, it's right here. It's this place. Which just
Yeah.
it was like the perfect bookend to the jarring editing of this movie. Maybe the editing is the issue more than anything.
There it is.
Like,
That could be.
Yeah,
it was
There's
just
a
weird.
longer version.
They-
that's more satisfying.
It's like they cut out every single stray second they possibly could, because it was like go
Except
go
for that
go,
motorcycle
go,
fucking
go.
Brock report montage,
But-
man. They love that shit.
Oh my god, yeah, because it's like we've got to move the story while we've got to explain while we're moving the story, but they weren't moving the story. It was just him riding a motorcycle with the montage playing over it.
It's a rock and roll.
In our mid-credits sequence, Brock interviews an incarcerated serial killer named Cletus Cassidy, who promises carnage when he escapes.
Boo.
Yeah.
Boo. Also, they made this and then they made the direct sequel to this with the lead-in mid-credit scene, which doesn't work
I forgot they did that. No, it doesn't work in the
Yeah,
sequel.
the sequel
they are meeting
and
for
this
the
are
first
not
time in
connected.
the sequel. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like,
I'm-
why did you do that then?
Well, it's connected, but you're right. They remake this scene
Yeah.
in
It
the
is
it's
different.
the same actor playing the same character, but they just redid this.
Yeah, and this shit happens like
They're
10 minutes into
meeting-
the movie.
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
I remember
but
watching this in the
You
theater
see
and going,
them reintroduce themselves to each other.
like, because that was the only other time that I'd see Venom. I watched Venom before going to see Venom, the sequel. After
Now we
I saw
know-
it in the theater, but like, it was so confusing after watching that as the lead into this.
But I'm realizing we now know that it was Cletus watching the Brock report that made him decide to give an exclusive interview to Eddie Brock out of anyone else in the world. He was like, I'm sorry, I love the Brock report. The way he found one dead body at the Oakland landfill and blamed it on all of San Francisco's ineptitude.
Yes.
Fantastic. Even the best of cities has a body or two every year.
Yes. Yes.
I think it was the motorcycle that did it for him. He's like,
It was
it
the
seems
motorcycle.
badass, man.
Do you see the way he taped an X over his head?
Whether you're an alien or a serial killer, a motorbike is just
It's so yeah.
Yeah, man.
so sexy.
So
He wore a leather jacket, tried to jump that fence into Poland, but it was too high.
I forgot to point this out. It was too high. I forgot to point this out earlier. When he's talking to the kids, what's his face? Drake is talking to the kids.
Oh, and the girl asks the question.
She doesn't. She raises her hand and he says, "No. Those that ask questions are often," but he doesn't let her ask the question.
So okay, so that happens. They all shush her for some reason.
Yeah.
Like he just opened it up for questions. She goes to ask a question. They shush her. He goes, "No, don't shush these people." Then Skirt comes to take him to his interview, and he then says, "Oh, this is the answer to that, though. Skirt will answer all your questions."
Yes.
Is what he says.
So,
So there is a little
here's-
bit of a bow on that.
Okay.
Her ears shut her down because right after this, they're supposed to go get astronaut ice cream in the lobby. That's where the
So-
field trip ends.
Dippin' Dots are
Yeah,
the way, man.
yeah.
I
So
love
Thoreau,
'em.
that wasn't an unanswered question. That was an unasked question.
Exactly.
I have some unasked questions.
Yeah.
Why is Gamora?
So, all right. Any other unanswered questions or final thoughts before we
Did we mention that there is no Venom symbol? There is no spider shape on his chest.
Oh, there's no,
Yeah.
which makes sense for their universe.
We may at some point get a spider symbol, like, "Ooh, you look cool. Ooh, that guy." Whatever.
Well, yeah, because in the sequel they allude to Spider-Man, and then of course they allude to Venom.
Yeah.
More than allude, we see Venom.
I haven't seen the sequel, so I know not of these allusions.
It doesn't give away. He sees Spider-Man on television, and he's like, maybe we should talk to this guy.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, like Venom in the comics was so tied to Spider-Man, and this was not Spider-Man related at all.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, their universe had to.
Yeah. Only the basic
But
design
don't
of
forget, this alien was a costume.
Yeah. Only the basic design of Venom in any way points back to his original relationship with Spider-Man. The fact that he's got kind of Spidey-shaped eyes. And
It's the
eyes,
eyeballs,
yeah.
So,
And you could see they've done some muscle behind Thor. You can see they've done some muscle coloring
yeah.
to give an illusion of spider legs, but no, it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is I'm just going to ask this question. We're not going to really get an answer even when we watch this movie. Is this in the Dr. Michael B. Morbius Dracula's movie
I think so.
universe?
I mean, maybe?
That's the real question. I mean,
It's
because
my
I want
understanding that it is. That
I
it
want
officially
Morbius
is.
to be in as many universes
because
as possible.
well, because Morbius what's fun Morbius, I mean, it's Morbin time, first off.
It's morbid time.
I know, but we've learned that this is not 616.
Yeah, no.
Because
it's not.
Eddie goes in and out. Okay.
Yeah,
All
yeah. But also, like, so here's the thing: is in Morbius, they reference Spider or spoilers for Morbius. Everybody, they reference.
Dude, I was just gonna go see it in theaters. It's still running. It's the highest grossing film of all time.
It made a more $1 billion.
Seeing Doctor Strange again.
So they reference Spider-Man, but after a week of it running, they took that reference out for showings. They edited it out. So I don't know
But
if
Disney could distance themselves from it if they needed to.
well, yeah, I think so that Sony can distance themselves from Morbius in general.
Well, it belongs to somebody. It's been made.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it would
so
make more sense if. Yeah, well, whatever.
Morbius
Morbius
was received so terribly. I have a feeling that we will never see or hear anything about Morbius ever again in any ongoing film. Is my guess. It was not a well-received film.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
For the greatest film of all time, that's rough.
it is. It is.
I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't either. I have no idea how bad it is.
For a movie where you have the doctor the Doctor Who wears the fez do a sexy dance shirtless.
That happens?
Yeah. To like hard thumping techno music. He does a sexy shirtless dance and he's like, yeah.
Well, I've seen worse, and I haven't.
And to
seen
think they
that
cut
yet.
him from
But I've seen
Rise of
worse.
Skywalker.
Oh,
He was
yeah.
gonna be in that, doing a sexy dance to techno music.
I would assume so. I hope all the movies he's in is him doing a shirtless sexy dance from here on out.
I'm just
I've
disappointed
seen
that
maybe
Jared
20
Harris
minutes
was in
of
it.
Doctor Who in my life, so I don't.
Oh yeah, I'm not
Doesn't
a Who.
That's just another shirtless, pasty Englishman.
That he is. So, all right, guys,
Me.
you ready to go ahead and rank this thing?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't.
Fantastic
Down.
Fours.
Fantastic Four. Let's see. Where did we put
That's
those?
just my shot from the hip. I don't know.
Yeah, I really don't know where even to begin with this.
No, not in the top 50.
No, definitely not there.
All right, stop here. Let's see. No, it's not better than those.
Yeah, Darkman, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Superman 3. I don't think it's Return to Swamp Thing. Blade Trinity.
Keep it away from my Swamp Thing.
Blade
I
Trinity.
think this is worse than Blade Trinity.
Even though they also had an office on the top of a building. That was
Oh my God, is this
questionable.
better than Dawn of Justice?
Yeah.
Kind
No,
of.
actually, I might put it between Hancock and Fantastic. Oh no, wait, Rise of the Silver Surfer. Yeah, it's better than Rise of the Silver Surfer to me.
Yeah.
All right, put it under Blade Trinity. Let's do it.
I could see it. I could see it going anywhere in this area.
Yeah, actually, anywhere. It's fine. Any of those. That's a good neighborhood, though.
Al, how do you feel about bumping Supergirl down one more?
Al.
Alaric?
Al, you're.
I'm looking at number 7.
Oh,
Okay.
Number 70.
I thought we lost you. You were just not talking. Okay.
we were
Just not talking.
we were waiting
No,
for signs of life.
I was muted.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
It worked. 70 is fine with me.
So what were you saying now?
Number 70 below Dawn of Justice, above Silver Surfer.
Okay.
Rise of.
That's fine with me.
Thinking seems like a good spot.
Yeah.
Although Hancock, oh my god.
Yeah, I'm not thinking about it that much. It goes at 70.
Okay. Yep, there it goes.
Yeah. We're good.
Our rankings ceased to make sense shortly after Superman. So there we are. Shortly after the first Superman, it stopped making any sort of sense. So here,
Was that right before Swamp Thing?
it was right
Yeah.
before Superman 2.
Okay, you know what?
What?
I want to see another Supergirl movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Me too.
Same.
Yeah. Make it, DC. Do it.
I want to see it. I want to see it.
Yeah.
I want to see them do it now and not in the 80s. It would be
Are we
great.
working out some sort of ransom situation?
Yeah, Al, are we?
All of a sudden,
Do we need to do something about
demands.
this?
No,
Do we
just
personally need to take some action?
We just need to proclaim our need.
Oh, let's get a Sky Flyer and fly it over wherever DC's headquarters are.
surrender Dorothy.
Sorry, I guess they technically did with the Supergirl series, which was great.
Wait. So wait. You reminded me just real quickly. I have a brief anecdote. So, that just got canceled, right? Supergirl series just got canceled.
It ended, yes.
Because what's her name? Melissa
Never
Benoist?
accept defeat.
Is that her name? Benoist?
Yeah.
I don't know her name.
You say symbiote.
So
I say-
she wanted to leave the show. She wouldn't return for another season, so they ended the show. The writers pitched to the network, to the CW, that they continue the show without Supergirl. But
The
Yeah.
Adventures of People Associated with Supergirl.
yes.
People who are also in the room.
So all right. Anyways, that's it. We are done with Venom, which brings us to next week. On next week's episode of Harmless Phosphorescence, we will be watching Aquaman.
Oh no!
Oh,
I haven't seen it.
Amber
Getting
Heard.
images.
Yeah. That is.
Oh, that's right. This is the Getty Image poster, right?
yes.
Remember, fanboys were like, "That's bullshit." They photoshopped those sharks.
It's like, did you think they
That's what
used?
stock images are for. Yeah, you thought Jason Momoa
What do
was
you think?
perched on an underwater rock with every
With all the sharks actually behind him, yes,
all the sharks, every kind of shark.
and a turtle, and orcas. Like,
Because we
guys,
know sharks are friends. Yeah, there's orcas. Yeah.
oh motherfuckers,
Fanboys are the best.
and an actual underwater city behind him that they built.
And he's crouching. And his hair is sort of down instead of everywhere.
That's Atlanta.
It's
Atlanta.
The king of Atlanta.
The lost city of Atlanta.
You can thank Futurama for that one.
Yeah.
All right.
No, it's you.
All right. That's next week on Harmless Phosphorescence. Till then, thank you everyone for hanging out with us. This has been your host, Thoreau Smiley, rolling down the street like a turd in the wind.
I'm Josh Cece, and that hurt. Long journal entries tonight.
I'm Brian Lesh, and I no longer share a parasite with my ex.
Bring in the next volunteer. Hi, I'm Alaric Weber.
Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time. Bye.
See you next week.